On Monday, former Congresswoman and ex-Democrat Tulsi Gabbard hit the campaign trail for Georgia Republican Senate nominee Herschel Walker. Gabbard, a former DNC vice chair, left the Democratic Party back in October. She has spent the waning weeks of the 2022 midterms campaigning for Republicans. Gabbard has visited Georgia before in support of Walker, as she seeks the political defeat of her former party. Gabbard ran for the Democratic Party presidential nomination in 2020, famously confronting now Vice President Kamala Harris with her controversial criminal justice record, while earning the scorn of failed 2016 presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. Gabbard later sued Clinton for allegedly intimating that she was a Russian asset, despite being a sitting congresswoman and an active member of the Army Reserves.
Aloha! It is so good to be back here again with all of you. I clearly did, this is all I brought. It's a little chilly. I gotta admit, I'm a little cold. Thank you. You're so kind. It's crunch time. I'm here because our freedom and our future is at stake. I love this country, as I know all of you do. I feel strongly about the attacks that are coming from within this country on our God-given rights and freedoms that are enshrined in the Constitution. This past week, I'm honored and grateful to still serve in uniform. I'm a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army Reserves. And last week, I was at Fort Bragg, at the place that I love to be, hanging out with my fellow soldiers. There are so many of us who are very concerned about the leadership of this country and the direction this country is headed, because I know there are veterans here today who feel, as I do, that this oath that we took to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, this is an oath that we take to heart everywhere we go. And it breaks my heart to see people like Senator Warnock and President Biden and others in Washington so readily throwing our Constitution in the trash, so readily passing policies and taking stands that violate our fundamental freedoms in the Constitution. There is a reason why our founders chose very carefully those words in those founding documents. They intended for our government, for us to be a self-governed people, and for these rights to be enshrined in the Bill of Rights so that the limits of our government were known, and that we, the people, would know that we are the ones who choose who works for us in Washington, not the other way around. And that is the challenge that we face right now. We have entitled politicians in Washington who are working for themselves, and they think that we work for them. I'm here to support Herschel Walker, because he will fight for us. He will fight for the freedom and rights of every single American. He will lift your voices, every voice in Georgia, to Washington, not bowing the knee to anyone, not bowing the knee to a partisan interest or a special interest or a corporate interest. He's on this mission because of a calling to serve a higher purpose. Nothing can stand in the way of that calling. For such a time as this, leaders are called to act. Leaders are called to fight for what is right and for what is just, and the people of this country need such courageous warriors in Washington. Herschel Walker didn't just start paying attention now. He has been answering this call to serve for quite some time. There are countless men and women in uniform who have been touched by and impacted by and served by Herschel for over a decade. And he didn't do it for attention. He didn't do it for the cameras or the headlines or because he thought, oh, one day I might run for office. He is answering a call to serve because he hears the cries of the people here in Georgia who are struggling, who are suffering, and who feel that their voices are not being heard. Now is your opportunity to fire Senator Warnock, hire Herschel Walker, and send him to fight for you in Washington. Early voting starts on the 28th. Don't wait just until Election Day or the runoff day on December 6th. Every vote counts, every voice counts, every day counts. So as you are here, you need to think about every person in your life that you need to make sure gets out and cast their vote. That's the only way we can make change. Let me hear you if you love this country. Let me hear you if you love freedom. Let me hear you if you're ready for Herschel Walker to go to the U.S. Senate. I'm proud to stand here with all of you today and proud to welcome now the fearless leader of the Republican National Party. Please welcome Ronna McDaniel, another warrior in this fight.